Hello, good evening, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Ed McCullough. Our guest this evening is Jeff SKI Kinsey, publisher of TOC Review magazine, and he's also active in TOCforeducation.com. SKI, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ed. It's good to be here.
It's great to have you here. TOCforeducation.com.
Right. TOC stands for the Theory of Constraints. And as you know, as publisher of a magazine called TOC Review.
By the way, TOC Review, for probably virtually everyone in the neighborhood who doesn't know it, is actually published. You reside in Bluffton, right, and publish the magazine from Bluffton, is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, Bluffton has an international business magazine. We've sent copies to Japan, Germany, other spots in Europe, Switzerland. So, Theory of Constraints. Dr. Goldratt had this theory back in the 80s that conflicts are the reason things don't go better, and if you can understand and use logic to solve conflicts, you can experience breakthroughs.
You can solve problems.
Absolutely.
Now, TOC, in its inception, was a model for solving business problems.
Yes.
And what's novel is that we're now taking business ideology or methodology and saying to ourselves, well, why can't that which was successful in business be applied to education as well?
Absolutely. And everything in life. Dr. Goldratt writes his books in the form of a novel, kind of like the 1-minute salesman, that approach of not dry, boring text, but interesting
anecdotes and...
Right. With a lot of personal interaction. And he talks about solving, in one case, a conflict as he was going out of the country. His son wanted to use his BMW while the main character in the book was out of the country. It was a conflict. The dad didn't want to give up the vehicle to his son while he was gone. So you can use TOC to resolve just about any conflict. And it's based in logic.
So not only do you resolve conflicts in education, but you can resolve conflicts over the BMW with the teenager at home.
Or with the spouse.
My goodness, this sounds like a miracle.
Well, it is.
Let's give our viewers some background on Jeff SKI Kinsey in regard to your interaction with education in America.
Okay.
Starting with, I understand you were the first Kinsey of the Kinsey clan to actually make it to college.
Yep, and graduate.
And graduate.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then from there, a stint in the Marines, which anybody would characterize as a learning experience.
Yes, and I knew it at the end of my 2 years. I was educated all the more. The Marine Corps was able to educate me.
And from there on to being an entrepreneur, which has to be the ultimate education. What greater life lesson than to become an entrepreneur and seek to build a business in this economy?
Absolutely. You know, I think of our founding fathers. They were entrepreneurs. You know, small businessmen, farmers, some of the most well-educated people ever. And I think a lot of times we lose sight of their passion for education. I heard a great debate after the election between Bush and Gore, and someone was interviewing William Bennett. Anyone who follows education knows that name, a former U.S. Secretary of Education. And the interviewer was asking Bennett, don't you think we should have a democracy and do away with the Electoral College and basically throw away our republic form of government? And Bennett asked, have you read the Federalist Papers? And the interviewer had said no. And Bennett said, well, then we can't discuss this issue because you don't understand what the founding fathers were thinking and how they framed the Constitution and the interaction that we take for granted today. So until you've read the Federalist Paper, he says, I can't debate with you. You're not qualified.
So speaking of qualifications, as it relates specifically to education, you yourself were a teacher, I think, what was it, in adult education, computer science, for how many years?
Total of 10 years. It was a span of 11, but I took one off in